Here's something unusual. I see these 3 birds flying over. Here's some more coming. And there's just this crazy ruckus going on over here. Just for some reason, all the crows are going crazy over here. And then groups of them are just coming in from every direction, gathering together. So the only sad part of this story is I can't tell you exactly what's going on. Just that there's a lot of activity and a lot of stuff going on here. They're all landing on that 1 or 2 trees right in that area. While I'm over here, we are having our neighbor's property thinned out. Well, we're not having it done, they're doing it. But not that exciting for us to have our woods next to our house all start getting cut down. But they are not harvesting the whole property, they're just thinning. So I guess they made this large area right here to process the trees. I see a lot of logs over here stacked up. And I know they cut sort of a driveway right behind this first layer of trees here. It looks like it goes way back to the back of the property. And then I don't know how long it's going to take them, but they will be thinning and thinning, going through the pine trees. I'm assuming over the next few days or so. I do like that this is left beside the road here, so we don't just have a giant opening to the whole road. Crazy what a huge group they've attracted. If there was a murder of crows, that looks like a murder of crows. If we were still in Charlotte and this was happening, we would know it was terrible and a huge neighborhood was going up next door or something. Fortunately, here we know that they're going to leave some of the trees. They're just thinning them out, and maybe in 5 or 7 years or 10 years or something, they're going to cut all of them down, and then it'll be a giant, ugly field for a little while until they get new trees growing. And then another 5 or 7 years, it'll look more like this over here, maybe, where you got the teenage trees. What have you got?
Oh, it's a mouse.
Oh, it's some kind of mouse.
Yeah, it's a mouse.
Is that thing attacking you? Danger cat, are you being attacked by a mouse?
I used to have a pet mouse.
Make sure you don't let that thing eat our garden. Sometimes we get our chicken feed here at Parker's, and I just noticed that they have an old feed mill, I guess you would call it, where they used to grind and mix their own feed, I suppose. Need to see the old equipment. I can see that it's not really running anymore. It's just neat to see what they used to do. I was watching where somebody was explaining one of these, and they would blow the feed up and then pour it down into whichever vat was going to grind it and mix it. I guess they just use the building for storage now. Get our straw over here, and I'm not sure what they're doing over here either. Kind of neat seeing the old signs. And they have all their fall products out here. Mums and pumpkins and pansies. I know they use this for storage, lots of feed. A few minutes ago, I noticed that one of our sheep was kind of moaning. And so we came to take a look at her and see what's going on. And she pretty clearly has bloat, which is where they get very gassed up and everything gets really tight. So we've carried her over here to this little metal pin to hold her, but she's not even standing up anymore. She feels terrible. So we're calling the vet to see what we can do. I think we're going to end up taking her to the vet. Her name is Pageant. She just stood back up again, which is at least a little bit of good news that she wasn't down for the count and not ever going to get up again. She's clearly very sick, and I'm just waiting on Cindy to find out what we're going to do, if we're going to go to the vet or if we're going to have the vet come here or just see what we need to do to take care of her as quick as we can. We gave her some baking soda and some oil, cooking oil, and hoping that she's going to start burping up some gas. Cindy's sitting with her a little bit and watching over her. I guess putting a stick in her mouth, kind of like a bit for a horse, should also help her with some burping. So we're hoping, we do have an appointment with the vet in case we need it at 2:30, but that's a few hours from now, and we're hoping maybe we can get her headed in the right direction and maybe not need the appointment. But we will see. I didn't mention previously that we also heard some rattling in the sheep's lungs, and so we weren't really sure what's causing that. I don't know if a sheep that's further along with bloat maybe is starting to have those kinds of problems. I don't know. We've tried to do some reading and see what we can find out, but she did start burping and was getting a little bit of the gas out, but then her breathing was getting more difficult, and she finally passed earlier. So now I'm gonna go get the tractor and try to dig a grave for her and bury her this afternoon. It's very sad. Some people that we haven't met yet, but are one of our possible resources for learning about sheep, said if you have livestock, you're going to have dead stock, and so it's just part of having animals. And we know that with chickens, but it's a much bigger deal when you lose a sheep. It's It's not as bad as losing your family dog, but it's a bigger deal. I don't know. The larger animals are a bigger deal than small animals. But the other day when we lost that little guinea, it was very sad carrying this tiny baby guinea in my hand over to find a place to bury it. So I'm gonna jump on the tractor, see if I can dig a good enough hole. We have very rocky ground. It's very difficult to dig. So that's where I'm headed now. You can hear behind me the machinery cutting through the forest. Maybe we'll take a look at that again in a little bit. I'm picking up Pageant now with the tractor to take her up to where we're gonna bury her. And I'm trying to figure out what to do on the video. So what I'm doing is just letting those of you that want to share in these moments be here with me at this moment. But I don't want to put her on camera, you know, because I don't know, it just doesn't seem respectful. So I'm gonna take her up there now. So this is the same little garden spot where we put a telephone pole. We got these posts right here that are keeping the pole from rolling down the hill. And that's creating a little barrier that holds this dirt back. And this is a little garden we haven't used yet, but you know, we've just been getting it set up. So this is where we're gonna put her, right here at this first post. And so that's where we'll be able to remember that our first sheep that passed is right there. She'll have a burial spot that we can look back on. Over here at the corner of the house, and I'm looking at what they've been doing. They're like cutting hallways down through the trees. I guess that's thinning. That would be a definition of thinning. There's another corridor. And another. And another. And there's probably more down this way. That's just the end of the easy part of the yard to walk through.